Hello guys, this is a review of the movie A Better Place. This movie is unlike any movie I've ever watched before in my life. It's an indie film, very low budget and very good. Let's talk about the story first. The movie follows the story of Barret. Barret is moving to another place after the death of his father. He was fixing the house and he kind of had a stroke or something. It's just an accident, and he and his mother moved to another town. There he thinks that he's going to start anew and fresh and get to know people, live a different life, and forget about the past. But it's quite the opposite. Well, he goes to school and he's not well received. People bully him, taunt him, call him names. Nobody wants to be friends with him. No one is welcoming at all. Like, no one. There's a scene where he starts talking to this girl and she accuses him of trying to rape her. It's like, get away from me, you freak, stop talking to me. And he just wants to say hello. Like, he asks her a simple question. Later she explains that she had her guard up because of how guys are in that town. But let's keep going from the beginning. There's a moment where he's sitting in one of the bullies' desk. He obviously doesn't know, and the bully confronts him. He's like, get out of my desk. And he stands up to him. He's like, no, why should I? But he ends up moving. And then later on, they're in the showers, the locker room. No, in the locker room, not the showers. And the bully is trying to beat him up. But Ryan, another classmate, defends him. And later on in the day after school, he finds him sitting on top of a lighthouse, I think. And he starts talking to him, getting to know him, and asking him questions. And Ryan is very, get away from me, like, I don't want to talk to you. But after a few minutes of conversing, he starts accepting him as a friend, and they become really good friends. That relationship develops. Ryan shares with Barret his most intimate feelings and philosophical views of the world. He is what they call antisocial. What's that word that they use? It's here, I'm pretty sure. Misanthropic. So he has this hate for the world, for people, and mistrust of people, and just doesn't want to be around them. He has a ferret that he loves. He, as he says, he's more into animals and humans. Barret starts talking to that girl that he talked to at the beginning. She apologizes to him because she realizes that he's not the type of guy that she thought he was, and she's best friends with this other guy who also becomes friends with Barret. And the three of them become friends. When he starts wanting to merge the friendships with Ryan so that, he's not excluded, so that he meets other people and gets along with them, Ryan becomes jealous. Increasingly jealous. And he just doesn't want to be a part of it. He stalks him, and he sees that he's with other people and he hates it. He gets really angry and questions why Barret is doing that in the first place. Since from the get-go, from the very beginning, their first conversation is about that. It is about the fact that there's no quality people in that town, or anywhere really, and no one is welcoming, and no one really deserves to speak to him, Ryan. Granted that Barret overlooks those red flags, he just dismisses them, I should say. And they go over to photograph this beautiful place, this foresty area that happens to be private property owned by an elderly man who confronts them, gets off his truck and tells them, this is private property, I do not want you guys coming in here. Ryan insists, hey, we're just gonna take some pictures, we're not gonna do anything, just leave us alone and we'll be on our way. He says, nope, this is illegal and I could call the cops. So they head back, and Barret is accepting of that. He says this is his land, we should get out. But Ryan is like, no, why should I listen to this old man? We're not gonna do anything bad. He probably doesn't even care about it. this place. He probably sees it as just something to up his status with. And then they walk back. Barret doesn't want to walk back, but he ends up listening to Barret. And the guy obviously confronts him again, the owner of the place. He tells him, I'm not going to tell you, I'm going to call the cops. And in an effort to scare him, supposedly, Ryan throws a rock at the guy and hits him on the head. He kind of stumbles and falls back to hit his head, the back of his head, with another rock that's lying on the ground. And when Barret checks his pulse, there's nothing. He's dead on the spot. They managed to make it seem like it was an accident, that he fell and stuff like that. The death is even reported in the news. But Barret is never the same, obviously. Ryan is this type of guy who is always complaining about life, and like I said, has very particular anti-people philosophical views. So he just tells Barret, you know what, get over it. It already happened. Like, it's one less lonely person. And at first, like, the things that he used to say to Barret, he didn't really take them as a sign that he was a dangerous person at all. He felt like he was really good. He was just happened to have a lot of trauma. Let me mention the trauma is very important. One day when Barret visits him at his aunt's place, she tells him that Ryan's dad killed his mom. And literally Ryan was there, and he held like his mother's brain, according to him, brains. And it's a very disgusting, a very tragic reality that some people actually face, and that's kind of like the excuse. The aunt is always mentioning how he inherited that, and she's very, I don't know, she's obviously hurt. Like, she has her reasons to hate the memory of his father, but it's there's no excuse for the torment that she puts Ryan under. And after recommendation by Barret that instead of him moving out and escaping away from his aunt, that he claims the house as his own because it belongs to him. So when he turns 18, he kicks her out of the house. Anyway, the guy that I said, the bully, that almost beat up Barret at the beginning of the school year, seeks revenge on Ryan. Him and the other kids, the other bullies, beat him up and just leave him close to the beach. One of the bullies feels shame and tells Barret what they did. So Barret goes over and finds him at his house, all beaten up, but like taking a bath, he's still okay. And he tells him that he bought a gun and that he's gonna go kill him, and that there's nothing that Barret could do. And Barret is insisting. He's crying to him, please don't do it. And at gunpoint, Ryan takes Barret, his friend, to go kill the bully that beat him up, the main one in charge of that. Like I said, Barret begs to him even more so right there. He runs to the bully and tells him, run, you have to run, but he has headphones on so he doesn't hear, and Ryan shoots him. He dies. He kind of tortures him too. He makes him beg and shoots him here, somewhere here, and the bully is already like kind of out of it and hallucinating, thinking that Ryan is his dad. In an effort to escape, Barret hits Ryan in the head with a rock, but Ryan catches up to him, and there's a struggle. You hear a gunshot, and you see that Barret shot Ryan, and you think, okay, that's it. But he keeps shooting him, like, make sure this guy's dead, and he only had 6 bullets in his gun. He narrates, like, I don't know if that's Barret narrating. I don't know if I was trying to save the world of Ryan or save him from the world. But nonetheless, after everything I did and everything we've gone through, I feel like there's really not much for me to stay here for. So he points a gun to his head, well, through his mouth, and pulls the trigger, but there's no more bullets because there were only 6. And I love it because they mentioned that, and from the beginning I was counting the bullets. I was like, okay, 1 shot fired, 2 shots, 3 shots, and then I knew that there were no more. But somehow in the back of my head I was like, please die, because I feel that, and that's the end of the movie, by the way. But I felt like I would have rather him commit suicide, because after everything he went through, and after the murder that he just committed, sure, we could say it's self-defense, but to a point, he shot him multiple times. Whatever the reasoning behind it, he was still going to serve some sort of punishment. And I think that he had his own tragic past with his father. He was like a misfit. I don't know. I just felt like life was too hard for him. The character, obviously. This movie at the beginning, the acting was, in my opinion, bad. And I thought it was a comedy. I thought it was supposed to be something like Come to Daddy, another movie that I previously reviewed, or something along the lines of Scary Movie per se, but it turned out to be something completely different and more serious, and the acting got better as it progressed. I don't know if this was shot in chronological order, because if it was, then it explains a lot. I feel like the actors grew a lot as a movie progressed and as the story went by. Because in the beginning I felt like it was too exaggerated, or maybe I just got used to the way that they did things, because this movie is pretty old. It's 1997. It feels like it's older, honestly. Like, the budget, I read online that it was short. Before watching this movie, I had no idea what the movie was about at all. Like, just a little bit. I skimmed through this. I went to Fi, my favorite store, and I saw this movie and I was like, seems interesting. Like, why don't I give it a try? I read, like I said, I skimmed through the back, and that's all I knew about the movie. I had no idea. Then here, and after researching a little bit, I found out that it's from View Askew Productions, the creators of Clerks, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Kevin Smith, and those are the executive producers, and Scott Mosier from Good Will Hunting. We all know Kevin Smith, obviously. So there's a lot of recognizable producers and people involved in this movie, but this movie is not famous at all. At all. It's actually like, I don't know. And I really don't understand why. Probably because of the budget. Because I don't see, other than that, a reason why this shouldn't be a massive hit. Like, I don't even think it's a very well-known underground movie. But it deserves to be. The story was amazing. I felt like I could relate with every single one of the characters in a different, well, not every single one, but at least the protagonists. I've also had times in my life where I've become friends with people, not once, but twice, where they develop an obsession and they become controlling, and they expect exclusivity from me, and that's something that I don't understand from people. Like, I'm not the type of person that likes being told what to do, that likes being controlled, that likes being watched over at all times and chased. I mean, you're probably thinking nobody does. There are some people that feed off on that type of temperament, but I'm the complete opposite. The minute that I feel you're putting chains on my hands and on my legs, like, I'm trying to just break free, like that Queen song, I wanna break free. Yeah, it was so relatable, So relatable. Like I said, it started off so weird, so comical in my head, that I thought this can't be anything other than a parody. Or like, you know, black comedy. But nope. It was a lot more than that. It was just it was really good. This movie offers intros before the movie plays, and I clicked on one of the intros, and they were making fun of the fact that they wanted a butter place, not a better place, but they changed it to a better place, the filmmakers. And obviously that's a joke, I hope, and they were joking around, making it like making fun of it. So I watched a good minute or so of the intro, and that's why also I had the idea that it was going to be a comedy. So if anyone's gonna watch it, and if anyone has this DVD that offers that, just don't watch it. I haven't watched the intros completely because I wanted to just stick with the reality of the film instead of the comedy aspects that they bring to it. This, like, there are so many things to this movie, honestly. It's so good. It's good. Like I said, and I'll say it time and time again, it's relatable, and a lot of films don't have that ability to make the audience relate to it. I felt like I said, like I was just watching my story, but I wouldn't have acted like Barret at all. There are people with very particular views on life. I think I'm one of them. I think I have very unique ideas, but never to the point where I wish harm upon other people. And no matter how secluded I find myself at times, or how much I'm in my own head, that thought just, it's not in my nature. And I encourage anyone out there, if you have a friend, if you meet someone with those killer instincts or tendencies, seek help for them. Do it in a safe way. Make sure that you are safe. And I understand that sometimes you develop feelings for people. You don't want to like snitch on them. You don't want stuff like that. But I feel it's always for their own well-being. It's not fair to let people murder other people that have absolutely nothing to do with their tragedies or their past, just because they have that in their head. So it's just giving everybody an opportunity to live with, which I believe is a right for everybody. And it's probably common sense. Everybody's probably going like, we already know. But it's like, does no harm to reiterate. What other points can I mention from the movie? I don't think there's really much else. Like, for its genre, I would give it a rating of 10 out of 10. Within its category, it's just the best of the best. I'm so glad that I gave this a try, because oftentimes I pick up DVDs and I'm like, I don't know, and I carry it around the store, and then I'm like, nope, too expensive. Like, I just go with another one. So I'm really glad that I give this one a chance, and I would encourage you to watch it as well, for mature audiences only, because it deals with very obviously disturbing topics. And that's it for this one. Thank you for watching.